Hey everyone, and welcome. You're listening to the next episode of Drive Home. This is a solo Marvel Snap podcast where I talk about the latest info you need before you start the first tournament game while I drive home from work. I'm your host, August, and let's drive home. Okay, so I didn't have a lot on my mind today, but as I was driving home right now, I was trying to think of something to talk about, and what kept coming up to me was hot locations. So I want to talk about like what I think about them and a few opinions that I have on like how I would fix them, because it's been years of Marvel Snap. Hot locations have always been around, and they're pretty much here to stay, right? Like anytime they're brought up to the devs on Discord, like on the Ask the Team section, people will say stuff like, why do we still have hot locations when everyone universally doesn't like them? And their answer is basically, if everyone didn't like them, we would stop doing them. So there seems to be this like large silent contingent of players who really like hot locations. And so I want to try and figure out how we can keep that, but then also make them more exciting for everyone else. When I think of myself, I don't really like them too much. Those are kind of days, like, Wednesday and Sunday, when I just don't tend to play much of Marvel Snap unless there's like a game mode going on that I can play instead. Part of the draw of Marvel Snap to me is the randomness of the locations. I think if Marvel Snap was just playing cards in what's essentially ruins over and over again, with the only variants coming from the cards themselves, it would get pretty boring pretty quickly. The locations add another dynamic force that you can play with and play against, right? Like, if the wrong location pops up, suddenly you're screwed. But sometimes that right location goes up and you're like, yeah, but now I'm back in it, right? Like, there's this give and take, this push and pull, and it makes it exciting. And the problem with hot locations is that because the new location at the time, or the hot location, the featured location, is so heavily featured that you're supposed to see it basically every other match, you're starting to get a lot of same feeling, right? Like everything feels the same. You play a few games and you're always destined to see it. And sometimes that can be a good thing. Like, you can build a deck specifically to take advantage of it. I know I've definitely done that in the past myself too. If you know a specific location is going to come up more often than not, then you just play decks that go into it. One of the mainstays I have for this is when the cloning location comes up. I think it's Cloning Labs, the one where when you play a card in that location, you add a copy of it to your hand. I bring a Victoria Hand deck, right? Like, if I know I'm going to be seeing that often, then I'm just going to play a deck that lets me continuously copy Victoria Hand over and over again. The other deck I have for this is something with Venom, right? Because if you're using a Destroy deck and you play Venom on the Cloning Labs, then he'll come into your hand with all that power, ready to be played again, right? So there are little things that you can do, and this is probably part of the appeal for a lot of people. Like, if I had to think about what it is that a more, let's say, casual audience likes about hot locations, it's probably the dependability of it, right? This idea that you've taken out some of that RNG. The things that appeal to me as a competitive player are not the same kind of things that appeal to casual players when they want to pick up this game, right? So how do we keep the spirit of hot locations but make it better, right? Like, that's going to be what's going on in my head right now. Like, I want to make this exciting for players like myself, players like you, people that are invested into the ongoings of Marvel Snap on a daily and weekly basis. You play this game a lot, and you don't like having to take off a day, or because of this location, right? So my number one thing would be to reduce how often it is, right? So right now we have hot locations on Wednesdays and Sundays. I would pick one day a week and make that the hot location day. I wouldn't do two. And if it was up to me, I would pick Monday. And here's why. So Monday is the last day of a Marvel Snap week, right? So the new card always comes out on Tuesday. It's basically the beginning of the week for any kind of Marvel Snap content, as well as the way a meta shifts, right? When you think about what's going on in the metagame of Marvel Snap, they tend to change either forcefully from an OTA or a balance change, like, that second dinner being like, here, we're going to actually make some adjustments on the play experience, or it's through a new card releasing, and that typically is with, the weekly release on Tuesdays, right? When you have hot locations on a Wednesday, what that means is that you get the new card on Tuesday, and then right away you're slapped with, okay, but any experience you have with this new card is now overshadowed by the experience that you would have, this pseudo fake experience because of this hot location, right? If let's say I have this new card, Gambit, right? It just came out last week. And, if you're trying to figure out, okay, is this card good? Like, what deck should we be playing it in? So you throw it in your decks on Tuesday, you have your repetition, you play some games, you're like, oh yeah, I really like how this plays. And then on Wednesday you play again, and the whole dynamic is shifted because this one location that comes up every other game can make or break the strategy for you, right? Now you're not getting any useful data, really. You're not really understanding what the card does because you have this whole day that you got to strike from the record, basically. You got to play around, okay, so every thought in your head when you're doing your testing is, marked by, I also had to play on this location. I saw this location all the time. So it kind of impedes any kind of real discovery for a new card, in my opinion, with this hot location right away, right after it. I think their attempt to mitigate this is to make it a location that hugely favors the new card. Like, generally speaking, if you look at the location that you see on Wednesday, it's usually paired up with what this new card is so that you're going to want to play it more. But I don't think that really helps, except it really shows off maybe like the upper level of what this card can achieve if everything, stars align for you. But so if we can move it away from Wednesday and put it on Monday, again, Monday being the end of the Snap week, it's something that can, give you a reason to play when you're in the end. I know for me, sometimes you kind of give yourself, okay, as the week goes on, you're more excited. You got the new card, you got the new, game mode happening. But then as the week draws on, you're like, okay, well, I can just wait till Tuesday now because nothing is really happening. But if you have this hot location that's happening on Monday, maybe that's something that'll get you to drive and to play then. My other thought here on how to make hot locations better is to visually make them more exciting. This is like a small thing. It's not really a gameplay tweak at all, but it would be heavy on like the VFX, right? So this is probably not something that's realistic to see Second Dinner do, but it's something that I would like. So here's an example. So you're playing your normal game of Marvel Snap. Locations reveal one after another, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. But what if one of those locations just like, a big golden flash comes up and it's like some fanfare, some music, and it's like, oh wow, this location is special. Why is this location special? If you're playing casually, maybe you don't even know it's a hot location day. If you're just, logging in to get a few reps in and you're like, oh yeah, a hot location, totally forgot. Like, you're smacked in the face with something more impressive. It's a visual indicator to help you kind of be excited about something new, right? If you think about any kind of thing, like let's think about Marvel Snap for a second. The banner that just goes across the home screen, right? It's so simple, but what it does is it's there to show you what's happening right now in case you've missed it. And yeah, hot location is on there, but what if like you were playing in the game and you got to see, boom, like here's this new location that's happening. What is this? Like, what do I have to learn about this? Should this be something that I should be focusing on? Is my opponent now going to be like more paying extra attention to this location? So maybe there is some kind of gameplay dynamic that is happening here. This also, to me, can help fold in with when you have a brand new location, right? So when you have a card that pops up for the first time, if you've never seen it, you get the whole screen where it says, never before seen, and it pops like right in front of you bigger so you can read what it is. Maybe locations should do that too. There's two types of hot locations. I didn't really mention this before, but there's the one where You have a featured location that's something that you already see in the game. It just happens to be playing heavily on this day. The other one is the new location, where twice a month we get a brand new location that we've never seen before, and that one's like super heavily featured, so that you get it basically, I think it's like every other game or every third game or something. I like those ones more because it's like a crash course into, you know, how do you play this location? It's brand new. Play it a bunch, see what it does. Maybe test out a bunch of different decks to see like what kind of synergies you can find. That I feel like is less egregious than the featured location type. And so if that location, you know, popped up on your screen, nice golden light fanfare, I think that'd be pretty cool. My other suggestion to fixing hot locations would be to give us some kind of incentive to play them. And I don't think it needs to be a big incentive either. I'm thinking like how the weekend missions work. You get a weekend mission for the new card of the week, which has some tokens. You get a weekend mission for the season pass card, which gives you some gold. And then you get a weekend mission for credits that's basically some kind of task to do, some kind of goal that usually aligns with what the card of the week is doing. For example, the first week of the month, we got one that said like play on reveal cards. So it's like, oh, okay, I want to play on reveal cards with an unsabad deck because you're playing cheap on reveal guys that you can swap out later. So they kind of work in tandem together. It'd be really nice if the hot location was kind of folded into this. Like, what if we put the hot location on the weekend, and then we got a fourth mission for a couple credits, maybe 200 or 150. You're not talking something crazy, but just a little supplemental thing where it's like, win, you know, Sinister London 10 times, right? And so now you're heavily focused. You want to play this location. You want to play a few games, and you're getting some credits out of it, right? You're getting some currency that you're going to need to help fund your next card. Maybe it can be tokens, right? Like, why am I being stingy here, right? If I'm making up things that we could do to improve, let's shoot for the moon. Like, what if we got another 200 or 300 tokens every week, so that when you combine that with the new card, suddenly you're getting 500 tokens every weekend. That sounds pretty cool to me, right? It doesn't need to be a super huge incentive. I'm not saying, you know, we should get a free pack every week just for playing the hot location, but I think if we have a little goal, then it helps make the hot location more exciting. You want to see it pop up. You want to play matches because you're seeing it happen, so that you can win it, so that you can win those, you know, that weekend mission. It's not like a lot. I don't have a lot of deep thoughts on this. Like, I'm not trying to change. Like I said earlier, I'm not trying to change what casual players like about the hot location, and I'm doing a lot of speculating and extrapolating here. I don't really know for sure. And please tell me if you are a super fan of hot locations, tell me in the comments why, because I want to understand like what it is that I'm missing about them. I think it's probably, if I had to guess, it's that the chance that you can make a deck specifically for that location, and maybe that's a part of the game that I'm missing out on and I'm not experiencing enough of. Because, like I said, personally for me, these are kind of days that I kind of take off of Snap, and I'd like to find reasons to play more, right? Like, this is my favorite game right now, and I'm not really looking for reasons to stop playing. I'd rather have reasons to keep playing. And if we can fix up hot locations, I think that might be the kind of thing that could help a bunch of people, right? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what we think about hot locations. Tell me why you like them. Tell me why you don't like them. Did I miss some things? Like, are there other things we can fix? Tell me what you would fix about them. Let me know. And if you enjoy this kind of short Marvel Snap content like I've been doing here, you know, this weekly little bite of, you know, here's my thoughts as I'm driving home, please give me a like, give me a subscribe. Help me continue to grow this channel. All right? Thank you. See you later.